Hello there, how y'all doing? This is your Boomer Consumer, and this is kind of my new review setup right here. I've got two cameras, this camera, then camera B, so just kind of mixing things up a little bit. Got everything set up on my desk here. I review hi-fi gear, that's what I do. And anyhow, I want to give a shout out to APOS. They sent me a topping D70 Pro Octo for review. It is on loan and all opinions of my own. No one's reviewed the video. Yada, yada, yada. All right. Topping probably releases a new DAC, I swear, once a week. But this is a new DAC preamp that they released called the Octo. Gotta tell you, there's another version of this, and it's called the D70 Pro Saber. Besides the DAC chip being different, it also does not have the sound setting on it where you can make it sound like a tube or transistor type of amplifier. Doesn't have those features. But what it does have is an 8-core DAC. It's the Cirrus Logic CS43198. So 8 cores to this thing. Okay. They've also give you the Aurora interface, which we're going to go over in just a minute. And they provide one of their very common topping RC15A remotes. You get much topping gear, you'll collect these things like Tic Tacs. I didn't even use that. So, I'm also testing, and have been testing it, with the FiiO FT3 open back headphones. Pretty nice set of headphones. We're going to review those. I'm doing something a little bit new here. I'm actually doing 2 reviews back to back, something I don't typically do. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this. So you get the Aurora interface. You get this nice little color display on here. You get Bluetooth 5.1. So I did not test this with Bluetooth. I'm just not a great big fan of Bluetooth. I know it's important to a lot of people. It's the Bluetooth 5.1, supports LDAC, aptX Adaptive, aptX HD, of course, AAC, SBC audio. It's got all that kind of stuff. Again, you get an 8-core driver. The DAC supports PCM 768 kilohertz to 32-bit. You get DSD 512 out of this. So all your bases are really covered. It does have balanced output as well as single-ended output on there. You have that. Now I'm feeding that to the Shit Magni headphone amplifier because this does not have a headphone output. Oh, the price, $5.99. So let's take a quick little tour of the controls. One thing, I have some other older topping DACs. And one thing was really strange about them is the setup. You had to unplug it and hold the power button and press and to get to the main setup menu. Not the case. So anyhow, let's just start. And it's probably going to be very difficult to see, but you've got 3 different touch sensitive areas. I'm going to touch the top one. And this is how you get into your setup on here. If I scroll down here, you can adjust the display, how bright it is. Output, right now I've got it outputting to all the outputs. That's your balanced outputs, that's your RCA single-ended, etc. You can get a 12-volt trigger for this. Different PCM filters, by the way. I think the F1 is, I could not really tell much of an audible difference between, I think there's 7 different filters built in. You press this big button here on the side, and then you can go through your different filters. So I'm going to press that, and you get okay. F4, oh, okay, you just keep clicking. Yeah, there you go. 7, 8, 9, back to 1. Okay. At any rate, I couldn't tell a whole lot of difference between there. Now, you get down to advanced, press in and hold, and then you can adjust the output voltage rated at 4 volts balanced output. However, you can actually increase it to 5 volts. All right, you got that. Okay, come down. I have this in pre mode, but you can also run it just in pure DAC mode. So, yeah, that's what I've got it running in pre mode right now. So it's preamp and DAC all in one. Activate the Bluetooth. The remote control is enabled. And then the button output select and anything else, and then return. So we're back. Hit the home button, it takes you back to the screen. And then there's a middle button here. You've got to be in the menus for that to work. Let's go back to the menu, and then you can use that for navigate menus. Back to the home button. You got 3 different types of display. So you've got these like spectrum analyzer FFT display, they call it. Tap the home button again, and you just got your basic information on there, USB, all outputs, what the volume level is, PCM 44.1 kilohertz. Tap it again, you got the VU meter and the spectrum, and just back and forth. That's what you got. They advertise this as a plug and play DAC. You know, it's designed to go with your computer, which I have a Windows PC running PlexAmp, and it does a pretty good job. So let's talk about unboxing this. First off, kudos to Topping. They do a great job packaging, giving that kind of a premium feel. You get a quick start guide. You get the DAC. You get an IEC power cord. You get a USB cable, Bluetooth antenna, and of course, you get the RC15A, which is just ubiquitous in the Topping world. That's what you get there. So we talked a little bit about the menu. By the way, a long press on here basically puts the DAC into sleep mode. Another press turns it back on. That's all there is to it, really. Get this headphone disconnected from here. This magnet's not bad, by the way. It's a nice little headphone amplifier. So you have all that. Now I tested this again with the Shit Magni for headphone testing. That's what I use it for. And I used it with these, the FiiO FT3 open back dynamic driver headphones. Great combination. I really enjoyed it. We're going to talk about these headphones in just a little bit. Sound, because that's what's important, right? Build quality. Well, no, let's cover the build quality. I got all this stuff on here. Let's move that. Metal case, kind of a plastic cover on here. The knob, just, you know, they use, I think it's a digital volume control on here. Knob feels okay. Doesn't feel real solid. A little bit, I can feel a little bit of play in there. It's definitely plastic, but you basically use it for selection. You use it to adjust volume and, of course, put it to sleep and wake it up. That's what the knob do on there. Pretty much it. It's got a nice, substantial bit of heft to it. It doesn't feel cheap. On the bottom, got these nice feet on there. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and look at the back and show you what you get on the back of this. So I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, all right. Let's just go ahead and disconnect USB cable and then the IEC power cable. Okay. So on the back, you got your balanced output left and right. Single-ended outputs. You have your inputs on here. You have coax in, place for your Bluetooth antenna, optical in, USB input. So this would just make a nice audiophile DAC as far as I'm concerned. For $599, it's a pretty tough price to beat. AES, your trigger, and then your IEC power, and then off and on switch. That's what's on the back of this. It's a good sounding DAC. It really is. Seems to be reasonably well made. Bit of a fingerprint magnet, of course, all black. looks good. Build quality is good. Let's talk just briefly about the sound. I did use it with some other headphones, mainly my planar magnetics, the Aria Organics, for example, so the headphones. I can tell you this much. It is a very airy, spacious sounding DAC. It's not your Sabre DAC. It's got that 8-core Octo Cirrus Logic chip in it. But it's very spacious, very airy sounding, very detailed. It's not super fatiguing at all. You know, how does this rank, say, with the HIFI Man EF400 or the EF600 that I got over here? Well, those are R-to-R DACs. So this is probably a little bit not quite as analog sounding, but very crisp and very detailed. Maybe the mids are just a bit forward on there, just a little bit. But other than that, I think it's a very outstanding sounding DAC. So that is the topping D70 Pro Octo. Now remember, there's a Sabre edition, costs a little bit more money, and it has the sound filters on there where you can make it have like a tube-like sound, etc. This does not, but this is only $599. So when you're in that $500–600 price range, yeah, I know there's a lot of competition out there between, especially it seems like between topping and SMSL, but there you have it. Nice little DAC, sounds great, seems to be well made. Love the new Aurora interface, much simpler to set up and use this DAC, pretty much designed to be plug and play. And that is the topping D70 Pro Octo. So this is part 2. Again, I'm doing these back-to-back reviews, and this is the FiiO FT3 open back dynamic driver headphones. Let me just start by saying that Darth Vader were to design a set of headphones, I think it would look something like this. Don't they just look like kind of a Star Wars thing on here? All right. Anyway, these are an open back dynamic driver, 60mm drivers on here with a beryllium gasket on there. They use the I can never pronounce this word for the life of me, neodymium magnets, 350 ohm impedance. You need some power for these things. It probably are not ideal to use with portable devices for the most part. Besides, open back headphones really aren't the best type of headphone for on the go, right? Once you get there, yeah, absolutely. You want to do that. Here's something cool. Now, very cool. The cable, the included cable. I know this is making noise on my... This is probably the best headphone cable I've had come through. Why? Well, it is a Furukawa monocrystalline copper wire cable. Now, it's my understanding that Furukawa quit actually making these some time ago, but FiiO bought out the remaining inventory and are using... Now, that's what I read. I don't know if it's true. If I'm wrong, so be it. This is what I read somewhere. But I can tell you, this is a 3-meter cable, almost 10 feet in length. Plenty of it, but boy, it is going to be such a pain in the ass to return this cable and wind it back up. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I'll ask my wife to do it. At any rate, this thing comes with so many more accessories than I ever seen come with any set of headphones in my life. All right, let's just start. You get premium packaging with this thing. You get a quick start guide. You get an extra set of ear pads. There's pleather, and then there is like a suede ear pads, which I have on this headphone right now. You get a leather-like travel case, and boy, is it just really super nice. Let me get that out on the table here. Look at that. That just says, hey, you're buying a premium product, right? Well, it does to me. Maybe not to you. But fun fact, inside, you also get various adapters. There's a 4-pin, 3.5 millimeter to 4-pin XLR. You get a 4.4 millimeter connector on there, balanced connector. Of course, you get the 3.5 millimeter and then a 6.35 millimeter adapter. So you get all these accessories, and it just kind of uses Velcro to stick in there. Isn't that nice? Makes you feel like you're getting a premium product, but you know what? This thing only costs 300 bucks. 300 bucks. Build quality. You get a aluminum alloy frame. They use it in the construction of the headband. Very nice. Aluminum alloy, I think, here on the ear cups, or on the phones themselves. Plastic, right here with a little bit of plastic. Nice mesh in there. They just keep cool, keep comfortable. I like the headband. These are probably one of the most comfortable pair of headphones I've ever used. Now, I prefer the suede over the pleather. Ear pads on here, they say that makes a little bit difference in the sound. Get a little bit more better imaging sensation with the suede over the pleather. I don't know, but these just felt so doggone comfortable. That's what I pretty much stuck with. Just my overall initial impressions of these. I love the travel case that it come with. I love the extra lengthy cable. That's so nice. Seriously, I love having a nice long cable because you can move around. You can move around. These guys that want to give you a little 5-footer, you got to sit right next to your gear to use it. So I like the extra long cable on there. I like the fact they give you extra ear pads on there. I like the look of these just fine. I think they look really, really sharp, but maybe you have a different opinion, to each his own. I love the extreme comfort on this. I love the headband on this. There's a little bit of sound leakage with these because they are open back. Nothing major, nothing bad. You get a big sound stage with these headphones as well. Big sound stage. They image really, really well. Look, bottom line is, and I've auditioned a lot of different cans. I've always preferred planar magnetics, but by golly, these dynamic drivers on here sound incredible. I could have swore I was listening to a set of planar magnetics with these vocals. Just sounded so good on these. The bass, I think these kind of have more of that, I think these were tuned more with that classic kind of V curve, where the bass is maybe slightly boosted and the treble slightly boosted. Nothing obnoxious. Bass is pretty doggone strong on these. I found the treble be just a bit on the bright side, not fatiguing, not tiring, just a little bright. You do need to get some serious power to these, okay? 350 ohm impedance. Yeah, you're going to need to get some power. Basically, on my headphone amplifier here, I had to put it on high gain, number one. It has a low and a high gain. I had to set it to high gain, and then pretty much crank it to about 50% on high gain to really get, maybe just a little under that, but you got to feed these things some real power. I think that FiiO put a lot of thought into putting comfort first. You got different positions on here. You see that these kind of tilt. The idea to tilt the ear cups like that is so they're parallel to the ears. They're very well made. It's absolute steal for 300 bucks. And there's a lot of competition at $300 headphone territory. But FiiO just really did a heck of an engineering job on these. These do not feel cheap. They sound fantastic. You get a lot of great accessories with them. You would swear you probably paid 3 times as much for these headphones as what FiiO is charging for them. So really, really nicely done. So I just want to kind of wrap this up. If you pair this is 600 bucks. You can pick up a Ship Magni, was it for like 150 bucks or less, headphone amp, because you do need a headphone amplifier or an amplifier to go with this. Okay, pick this up. I think this is 150 bucks, so what you're 600, so let's say 750, and then you pick up these headphones for 300 bucks. A little of what, you're like 1050, something like that, all in. And man, oh man, are you going to have a great sounding system. Plug that right into your computer or, device, because this has multiple inputs. Again, you get your coaxial input, you get optical, USB. Plug that all in together. So for let's just say we'll call it $1,100. $1,100. You got a system here. And of course, I don't have the. I think there's a matching topping headphone amplifier. I'll have to look into that, but I'm just saying you can get this premium sound for. You would have to spend a ton of money, really a ton, if you were trying to replicate the sound quality coming out of these headphones with this DAC and this amp on a system with speakers and all that. You can get some really fantastic sound out of that. So that is my overall review of the topping D70 Pro Octo, the FiiO FT3 open back headphones. Bruce Naylor, the Boomer Consumer. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.